Welcome to South Juniata County. That is the focus of our show today. It's the true heartland of Pennsylvania, and we'll get a tour of the must-stop places and some hidden gems. Hosting us today on location is the Juniata Valley Winery. They produce 24 different wines. We'll learn about those wines, plus the significant history of the winery site. In an atmosphere of mountains, rolling farmlands, and fresh country air, Buttonwood Campground offers everything you'll need to make your camping vacation complete. Find out about the amenities, on-site fun, and lodging options. Plus, Deborah Pinkerton will hop in the car and take us on a road trip around the Juniata River Valley. She'll explore some of the restaurants, historic landmarks, and more. That's in our second half hour. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being with us. It's a good day, PA, and I'm Brett Thacker. We've got a special show for you today, focusing on all things South Juniata County. Now, Amy Kim is live right now out at the Juniata Valley Winery. Amy, good morning to you. What do you have coming up for us from there?
Good morning to you, Brett. Yes, we have so much coming up. You talked a little bit about it. And we want to thank the Juniata Valley Winery for hosting us this morning. This site here, there's a lot of history here, and we're going to learn about that coming up on the show. In fact, we're going to learn about really all things Southern Juniata County, and much of that involves the outdoors. And with spring now here, this is a great time to be talking about this today. Now, I want to just show you some beautiful video here. If you are headed north along the Susquehanna River in Harrisburg, instead of staying right there on that course, just go west a little bit and follow the Juniata River to discover a really special place. This is Southern Juniata County, the base of the Juniata River Valley. There is so much natural beauty, farms, small towns, places for the communities to gather. As Brett noted, campgrounds. There's a Speedway, lots of cute shops and restaurants to visit. And throughout this hour, me and Brett and Deborah Pinkerton will bring you so much from here in Southern Juniata County. Now, so far today, this morning, it's been kind of cloudy, a little damp, foggy. Some sun, though, is breaking through from time to time. So for more on the weather, we're going to send it back to the studio with Brett.
Looks great out there, Amy, and we can't wait to talk with you more from the winery coming up in just a bit. Got a big show for you, but we are going to give you the weather first, and that means a few clouds with the sun trying to break through. Amy described it perfectly. This is from Juniata County to Lancaster County in Elizabethtown from atop the public library here. We could see the clouds a little in the way of sunshine breaking out over Hummelstown right now. It's not a bad day by any stretch, and we are starting to see things warm up. Now, some showers are going to be redeveloping as we move into the afternoon and evening, and so I do think it could be a damp end to the day, even though we're getting some peaks of sunshine. Now, it looks rather cloudy on the satellite, but these are very thin clouds in spots, and where the sun is broken out, check this out. Temperatures are in the 60s, 63 in Lebanon, Lancaster, York at 66. Look at Baltimore, 77 already at 10 o'clock. They do expect some severe weather to the south of Baltimore today because of it, and the colder air is starting to loom now across the west. Look at Pittsburgh, almost a 25-degree drop since yesterday, where east of the river, the Susquehanna, we're pretty much even with where we were yesterday because we're still in the warm sector. Now, some showers are going to ride up along this frontal boundary, and I do think we could see some showers by late this afternoon and evening. It's going to be a breezy day, and then eventually the front will move through, and that means it's going to cool down tonight and heading into the day tomorrow. There is a big temperature gradient, though, across this front. As we mentioned before, 80s out ahead of it and 70s locally, and then 50s behind the front. So it is going to cool down tomorrow. There is a severe weather threat from the Delmarva Peninsula down into D.C. and parts of Virginia. Damaging winds, the primary threat, some hail with that. Luckily, no tornadoes in that area, or at least the threat of tornadoes likely not to happen. So we are going to get some cloudy skies later and perhaps some showers. If you do have evening practice tonight, just be aware. If you can do it indoors or postpone it, that may be an option. You're going to have to keep an eye on the radar. The showers, the timing of these, even now, still in question. The models have waffled back and forth between this afternoon and now the latest run showing perhaps waiting until later this evening, 6, 7 o'clock. A quick burst of steady rain almost, and then the front moves through. We clear out a little bit, and then because the front stalls to our south, I think tomorrow is going to feature more clouds than we originally thought, and while they will thin out a bit on Saturday, there's still going to be some thin clouds around because the front will be off to our south. So we're still hoping for mainly sunny skies this weekend, but it may be a challenge, especially tomorrow. Here comes the front. Later on tonight, it does turn breezy, and it stays breezy into the day tomorrow. A stiff north-northwest wind. That is going to add a bit of chill to the atmosphere heading into Easter weekend. So highs today still getting likely into the mid to upper 70s and then dropping as we move into the nighttime hours. I think tomorrow morning, low to mid 40s with the clouds. Temperatures going to be a little bit raw tomorrow morning. and topping in the 50s. Remember, it's going to be a cooler weekend coming up, and that means you'll want the jacket. We've got the latest forecast. You can go to my Facebook page to chat with me, meteorologist Brett Thakora, at Brett Thack ABC 27 on Twitter and Instagram too. We're everywhere, and we love to talk about the weather, especially when it's this nice in terms of the temperature, 75 degrees. Some stray showers this afternoon, and into this evening it's going to be breezy. Now tonight, 45, mostly cloudy. We do anticipate those clouds to keep the temperatures up just a bit. Tomorrow, though, not the case. Well, we will have the clouds on Good Friday. Some sun will try to break through. It's going to be breezy and cooler, 58 degrees. Look at the weekend. Temperatures dipping into the mid-30s both Saturday and Sunday morning. 58 on Easter Day, but it does look nice with sunshine and then a prolonged dry stretch. Look at all the sunshine in the forecast here. And by the middle part of next week, we warm back up, getting into the upper 70s. Well, coming up next, it's the beginning of our special show covering all things South Juniata County. Deborah Pinkerton will give us an overview of some of the attractions and sights coming up next. Welcome back. Over the next hour, we will be exploring southern Juniata County. We'll take you to historical places, restaurants, wineries, and so much more. The Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau is sponsoring this show today, and Deborah Pinkerton starts us off with a preview.
We're here in southern Juniata County, about 25 miles filled with anything you want and need. Right behind me is the Lehman Covered Bridge, a very historical site here in southern Juniata County. Here to talk to us about the bridge and much more is Buffy Boyer, Communications Director with the Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau. This is really a beautiful place. First off, tell us about the bridge.
So Lehman's Covered Bridge is one of 4 we have in Juniata County. It was built around 1858. It's 108 feet long. And I guess during Hurricane Agnes, the floodwaters did topple the bridge, but they were able to salvage some of the original timbers and rebuild the bridge. It is privately owned by the Schaefer family, but they do welcome the community to come and check it out.
Sure, lots of history here. And driving up from the Harrisburg area, just saw lots of rolling hills, streams. Really, it's a beautiful area. Is this sort of like a place to get away?
It is definitely a place to get away and just enjoy our mountains and our river and our streams. It's very popular for hunting and fishing. Our river is known for smallmouth bass fishing, and we have many Class A trout streams in the area. But we're hoping, people come and check out the other great things we have in the area too.
Such as food, dining. Driving in, I saw OIP, a favorite of mine, and didn't realize you had one here in southern Juniata County.
They have the best pizza in town. We have some other restaurants too that have more of a Pennsylvania Dutch influence on their menu, but we also have Guante's Family Restaurant, and it's a Latin American cuisine, so you can get your empanadas, pupusas, plantains.
And you have a popular winery.
Yes, the Juniata Valley Winery. It is set on a 19th century estate, so the buildings are gorgeous. It's also like a wedding venue, but it's a wonderful place to try their sweet and dry wines. And they do grow some of their grapes on site.
Why don't we talk about places to stay? I know you have a very popular campground here.
It's Buttonwood Campground. It's an award-winning campground. And it's really hard to get in there, but if you do, you're lucky. They have a lot of activities for your family to do, so you can't be bored there unless you want to be. But it's the riverside location that is the premier place to camp.
And many people stay there because of the very popular Speedway.
Yes, Port Royal Speedway is definitely our biggest attraction in the county. They're drawing in people from all over the country for the races, and even the drivers. They're coming as far away as Australia to race here. The crew there is doing a wonderful job. They've upgraded the facility, so it's bringing top-notch experiences to the fans and the drivers.
Wow, so many different places here in southern Juniata County, and we're going to be exploring many more throughout the next hour.
We can't wait for it. Well, how sweet it is and how dry, too. We're talking wine, and still ahead, we head out live to the Juniata Valley Winery, learn about their process, their different wines, and the winemaker himself. But before we go to the break, we do want to thank the Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau for sponsoring this special Good Day PA today, and we're coming back with more.
Hosting us this morning for our special Southern Juniata County show is the Juniata Valley Winery. It is a truly lovely place. George Hazard is founder and co-owner, and he joins us now here in the tasting room. The winery, George, rests here on what is known as Wilson Farms. Tell me a little bit of the history.
Yes, good morning, Amy. The Wilson Farm has a long history here in Southern Juniata County. It originally was developed back in the early 1800s, and it was a large tract of land, and a lot of people resided on the farm. Back in the day, there was a 9-hole golf course. They raised Arabian horses. They had a fish hatchery and some beautiful buildings here on the property.
We're in one of those beautiful buildings. We're in the
Yes.
tasting room again, and this is the Wilson house. This house has quite the story.
It does. It does. Originally, it was built about 1,000 yards down over the hill here. It was known as their cabin, a large stone cabin. In around World War I, the one sister who lived in that house wanted to live closer to her other sister, so they moved the entire house to its current location.
That's wild.
It's just quite an undertaking.
That is wild.
Yeah, it's a great history.
Tell me about you. How did this come to be? How did you become a winemaker? How did this winery start?
Yeah, so my wife Colleen and I decided to start looking to change our careers back in 2009. And as I was growing up, our family always made a lot of our own foods. We did a lot of canning, a lot of gardening. So that type of lifestyle did not scare us at all. In fact, I find it quite challenging. And so we started looking at different businesses. I really like people. I like music. I like making stuff. And we thought to ourselves, a winery would be perfect. There was very few wineries in central Pennsylvania, and we thought this is the time to do it.
Well, it is, like I said earlier, lovely here. Talk about some of the wines that we can taste when we visit and just about your process.
Yeah, so back in 2012, I planted 1,100 Traminette vines. It's a German hybrid from Gewürztraminer. That's our estate wine. It's a really nice semi-dry, semi-sweet white wine. So that's one of my favorites. But we make anything from dry reds up to very sweet wines. The majority of our customers like sweet wines. However, we make some really nice dry reds, dry whites. We have a nice varietal.
Here on the site, you're able to host events and weddings.
Yes.
You have 2 venues. Tell me about those.
Yes, so we have the Wilson house that we're in right now. We have Ashling Hall, which we built in 2018. It's a large timber frame structure where we host weddings and all other special events. And then in 2021, we acquired what we call the Manor. And that's a very high-end wedding facility as well. So we have weddings over there, and we do special events on the weekends. Follow us on Facebook because we have something going on just about every week.
Well, you mentioned special events, and here's your opportunity to invite viewers to a special event. You have something coming up.
Yes, we do. We have a wine festival coming up on April 29th and the 30th. It's a 2-day event. We have some fantastic wineries joining us that weekend. We have Armstrong Valley out of Halifax and Hungry Run Winery out of Lewistown. So the 3 of us will be here for the whole weekend. We have a lot of other vendors, food trucks, live music going on both days in both our halls. A lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Well, this is a lot of fun. We thank you so much for having us here.
Oh, thank you very much, Amy. We're happy that you're here.
Oh, thank you. Well, there's so much more to come on today's special show. We're going to head back into the studio after the break to learn about Buttonwood Campground, from the pool to the river, laser tag to mini golf. Hear how to reserve your spot for a summer vacation. That's after the break.
Located right in the heart of the Juniata River Valley is one of Central Pennsylvania's largest campgrounds. With an array of fun activities, there's something that will fit each member of your family. We're learning more about Buttonwood Campground right now, and Assistant General Manager Brian Waters joins me. Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, and we can't wait to talk about this. Let's start with the amenities of Buttonwood. Talk about some of those.
Yeah, so we have a swimming pool on site. We also have a fishing pond that is stocked so our campers can use it when they're here.
Oh, wow.
Some of the campgrounds right along the river so they can enjoy the river, swim, fish, whatever they want to do down there.
Yeah.
We also have a propane fill station. So if someone runs out of propane at night, gets too cold, we can fill that up for them right there on site so they don't have to leave the whole property. Our store also has a lot of items, clothing, camping gear, anything that they could think of that they need. We also have the Juniata Valley Winery there on site, so people can buy bottles, cases, or wine slushies while supporting another local business.
Yeah, and it's all right there, which makes it
Yes.
convenient. Turning now to the lodging, you offer both tent and RV sites, as well as various cabin options. Let's talk about all of those.
Yeah, so we have 11 cabins on site. One of them is ADA, handicap accessible cabin. The RV sites are all the same. They all have full hookups.
Okay.
Some of them have right along the water. Some are on the upper side. They all have 50 and 30 amp hookup electrics. They have sewer. They have the water and the dish network there. We also have Wi-Fi. We're in the middle of upgrading our Wi-Fi, so a lot of people are still doing the work from home. So we're trying to upgrade the Wi-Fi so that when they come stay during the week, they're able to still work from home.
Yeah, if they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cabins look great too.
Yep. We try to keep up with them. One of them, the cozy cabin, is the one with the loft right now. That's just finishing up a renovation right now as we speak.
That's awesome. There's also a lot of fun to be had. Tell us about some of the on-site activities that folks can take part in.
Yeah, so one of the most popular one is the jumping pillow.
Yeah, I saw that there in the picture. That's fun. For
Yeah,
kids especially.
Yeah, so it's a big inflatable. Some of the adults also join in on that.
Yeah.
Right next to that's the pedal carts, so the kids are able to enjoy the pedal carts. At night, we actually shut the pedal carts down and run laser tag in through there.
Oh, wow.
So the kids can enjoy that as well. We also have the hay wagon ride that goes around, gives everyone a whole tour, as well as the fishing pond and swimming pool that I had mentioned before. We also do the crafts and ceramics in the mornings on Saturdays.
Oh, wow.
So we try to theme that around whatever the theme is for that weekend.
Yeah, and there's the pool. I mean, you can't be bored, that's for sure.
That's definitely.
No doubt. If someone would like to reserve their spot, again, tell us where you're located and how folks can do that if they want to get a spot for the summer coming up.
Yeah, so it's in Mifflintown, Pennsylvania. Some people local consider it Mexico.
Yeah.
We're 2 miles from the racetrack, so you just get off the Pomeroy exit, and we're just off the exit, not too far. If they would like to book, they can just go ahead and give us a call at the number there. We have someone in the office that help them. Some people, they can email us. It's camp@buttonwoodcamp.com. They can also email us there as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Brian, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Good luck with the final prep. You open next week, right?
Yes, next Thursday.
Awesome. All right, sounds good. There's so much more to come and explore in the second half hour of our special Juniata Valley show today. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us for our second half hour of this special Good Day PA, sponsored by the Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau. Coming up, Deborah Pinkerton is back, and this time she takes us on a little road trip around South Juniata County, and it's an invitation to say hello to a country way of life. That invitation will come from some folks who love to farm, and we are looking forward to all of that. The rain holding off right now for Amy, who is in Juniata County, and we'll get back to her in just a little bit. We've got the Senators here at City Island on F&B Field. They'll be playing ball here soon. Kind of a cloudy gray start to this Thursday, and we do anticipate some actual rain to develop here later this afternoon and this evening. Temperatures, though, are climbing, especially in our southern tier counties, all in the 60s now. York and Gettysburg and Chambersburg getting into the upper 60s. Even Lewistown at 68, getting some breaks in the clouds. I do expect us to get back into the 70s. We are in the warm sector after all. There may be a shower or two lining up ahead of the main action, which should come this afternoon into this evening, where we get some steadier showers, and then the breeze will begin to pick up. The good news is we avoid the severe weather threat again. That is going to stay off to our south. Damaging winds and some hail, the primary threats here across parts of D.C., Virginia, and the Delmarva Peninsula. But for us, after today and a few showers later, it dries out. We've got a huge stretch of dry weather going into Easter weekend and beyond. And despite a cool down here going into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I mean, Saturday it is going to be a little chilly at 54, and morning lows this weekend will be in the 30s. We have more warm weather to look forward to next week, and we'll show you that coming up today at noon. Continuing now with our special show, we have seen some neat places to visit in southern Juniata County, and Deborah Pinkerton takes us on a road trip to show us some more.
Southern Juniata County is a real gem. There are so many places to visit, and we're going to take you to a few of them. The first stop is Hazard's Distillery. It's located on Route 75 near Port Royal. Let's go inside. Joining me is Bob Hazard with Hazard's Distillery. Tell me, when did you open and why?
So for about 20 years, I helped my dad run his construction business, and then in the fall of 2013, I had a pretty bad workplace accident. It was one of those accidents where I'm lucky to still be around. So it was that night my wife and I decided that we were going to do something different. So we started visiting a lot of distilleries just to take a look at them. And then in the fall of 2014, I went to Kentucky for a while to go to school to get a little bit of hands-on. When I came home from that, we decided we were going to move forward. So it was that time we started looking for a place to open the distillery, and in May of 2017, we got open to the public.
Oh, congratulations. So when someone comes in here, what can they purchase?
So we start everything with a corn-based mash, and from that we make 11 flavors of 40 proof moonshines, with a couple of the favorites being root beer and our newest one, the cranberry. We also make 6 different whiskeys that range in proof from 70 to 105, with a couple of the favorites being the salted caramel and the vanilla coffee.
And you're pretty active in the community, right?
Yeah, we do as much as we can to support local through donations or going to events that are working as fundraisers for different local organizations. So yeah, we try as much as we can.
Thanks so much, Bob.
My pleasure.
There's a lot of history in southern Juniata County. Let's head south on Route 75 and do some exploring. Tucked away in Port Royal is the Pomeroy Academia Cover Bridge. It's right behind me. Joining me right now is Audrey Sizlove with Juniata County Historical Society. Tell me about this beautiful bridge.
Well, the natural beauty of this place, where the bridge is located, it is a calm and serene experience when you walk across it. And you can't get any better than that in Juniata County. And what better place to come if you enjoy nature is to walk across the longest remaining covered bridge in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that is great. There's a lot of history behind this bridge, too.
Yes, it was built in 1901 by James Groninger. The Historical Society acquired it in the 1960s, and in 2008 we had it restored, and we've been taking good care of it ever since because it's such a jewel.
Audrey, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Right now I could use a cup of coffee, so let's head over to a new coffee company in Thompsontown. Delicious. Joining me right now is Mary Sieber, the owner of Stan's Coffee Company. This is really a beautiful place. Tell me, when did you open and really why did you open?
Yeah, so we opened New Year's Eve of 2022, and the reason we opened was we wanted to cultivate a gathering place within Thompsontown that people could know that they are welcomed and seen and cared about. But the biggest pull for it was really to honor Stan and Ruth Sieber, who Stan's is named after. Stan's was my husband's grandparents, and this was their old house. And they really just had a reputation for being hospitable and generous people. So again, just cultivating a gathering place while honoring the legacy that they left.
Yeah, it is a very comforting place here. When someone walks inside, what can they order?
Yeah, so we have kind of your standard coffee menu with specialty drinks, you know, lattes, mochas, that kind of thing. We also have loose leaf tea and some tea lattes for the non-coffee drinkers. And then we also offer some pastries that we get fresh every morning from Zimmerman's Farm Market.
Thank you so much, Mary, and thank you for the coffee. It's great.
Thank you for coming.
We've shown you just a few of the many places to visit in southern Juniata County. We will tour more coming up.
Thanks to Deborah. Camels aren't the only animals that carry a hump. Cattle can have them too. Not all, of course, but a zebu sure can. We'll head back out to a Juniata County farm to meet Archie, and that's coming up next.
We are back live from Juniata Valley Winery in Mifflin now. We're just outside of the tasting room because some of our guests just really, they're not invited inside today. We're going to learn why. The guests are from Lovetwo Farm. They live at Lovetwo Farm in East Waterford, Juniata County. And Daniel Love is the owner and president. First, before we get to these guys, what is Lovetwo Farm? What are you all about?
So we're a fourth generation farm and family farm. And so roughly 1902 we started in dairy, transitioned now to where we're more towards the agritourism. And then we have a farm store to farm as well, along with all the animals. And folks can just come out and enjoy it.
You say that you are really proud to educate the public on what farm to table really means. Talk about that.
Yeah, farm to table in my mind is a definition that we all know those words, but everybody has a different definition for it. So we're trying to create an atmosphere in an area where you can come out depending on what your area you want to learn. Maybe you want to learn about flowers, maybe you want to learn about produce, maybe you want to learn about animals. Any of those kinds of aspects we have there, even right down to ducks and everything else in that way, fish. So it's an opportunity to learn and enjoy the country way of life.
Well, you mentioned some of those creatures there today. And of course, Lovetwo Farm is home to lots of animals. You brought some of them with us today. We're going to meet them. I want to start here. This is Archie. Archie has a hump.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, so Archie is a zebu. You find zebus often in the southern, like hot equator kind of areas. And of course that arch, or why we call him Archie, is because that hump, as Harry's now wanting to, but anyhow, that helps him to store because often he's in a dry desert type climate area. So yeah, he's been with us for a long time.
It was really just like a camel.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
This guy wants to steal the show.
Oh yeah,
Harry.
Harry is always so Harry is a Scottish Highlander, and he's all the time looking around to see who he can go see and who he can go find. And so yeah, he's probably the one that gets the most pictures, I guess.
And then back here, Runaway Joe.
Yeah, Gavin has a Runaway Joe, which is a Texas Longhorn. And the only reason for the name is that when we bought him, the Amish boy that we bought him from, he had trained him so you could ride him. And we brought him home, and my one other helper, Braden, jumped on him, and he took off like flying. And that's the last we've ever seen him run or even go away anywhere. So we just call him Runaway Joe.
Do all the animals at your farm have names?
Majority of them. We have, if people go on our website or onto our Facebook page, they'll see that, yeah, there's a good many of them that do. I mean, we got Theo, he's a big water buffalo, and yeah, we've got all kinds of different names for all the animals. So
I want to show folks a little bit else of what they can find at Lovetwo Farm. Besides the animals, we have some pictures we want to show them. And as they look at that, I want you to answer this question. Why, to you, is it important that people understand the value of a local farm?
Yeah, so I guess my remark to that would be, we all can, some of us remember back to 9/11. We can all remember recently the whole disruption in the food chains with supply and demand. So really, if you're trying to be as creative in the way of having fresh food, be as creative in the way of supporting local, be as creative as in keeping a family farm alive, yeah, buying local. So we have about 20, I think we're up to 21 different farmers that bring their products there. Then we're always looking for other stores, warehouses, et cetera, that are looking for supporting local as well. So you can buy at our farm, or you can check your local Ma and Pa type store.
Yeah, that's terrific. Well, thank you so much. Good to have you here at the winery with us, and good to have all these fellows here with us too.
Thank you.
Well, coming up after the break, we are going to take things back into the studio, and we are going to learn about the half-mile dirt oval that is the Port Royal Speedway. Keep it right here.
In 1938, a few automobile racing events took place. Then in 1953, weekly racing began. And over the past 70 years, Port Royal Speedway has raced every type of car that is raced on a short track. We're continuing our showcase of South Juniata County with the Port Royal Speedway, and Steve O'Neill joins me with one of the premier places in the county. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming on the program here. Start first by giving us a little more history about Port Royal Speedway.
Well, the Juniata County Agriculture Society owns the property, and the track was actually built many years ago, well over 100 years ago, for horse racing. And again, like you said, in 1938, they started experimenting, running just a few races a year. And for the past 70 years, it's actually been a weekly racetrack.
Yeah.
in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of capital poured into it, and it kind of brought it up to today's standards.
It's growing.
It's growing, and we are so proud of it.
And you should be. Everybody knows about it. Talk about what spectators can expect when they visit, though, if they haven't been there yet.
Well, if they've never been there, first of all, when they come in, they're going to feel excitement. Every Saturday night, I mean, it's exciting. You're going to see they're going to enjoy or the thrills, the spills, the great racing, and in a clean facility, in a beautiful environment. I mean, you just can't beat it.
No, those pictures really look awesome. What are some of the different types of races that happen there?
Well, at Port Royal, we run any sanctioning body in the country that runs dirt track racing. Sometime during the year, you're going to see at Port Royal Speedway. And for our sprint cars, of course, our Granddaddy of them all is our Tuscarora 50 that we run during the fair week, which is a huge week there. The little fair is going on in the facility. We run 5 races in 8 days, and we finish it off. This year it will be a $55,000 a win sprint car race.
Oh, wow. Well, you can't beat that. That's pretty fun.
It's great.
Now, you're a family-friendly track. Is that correct? And talk about that. Talk about why that's so important to you.
It's very important because, again, kids, they're the future.
Yeah.
They're the future for the sport. They're the future for the country. So we do whatever we can every week. We offer a discounted price for all the students 13 to 18. But one of the great things at Port Royal is that anybody under 13, all kids under 13 with the families bring them, we allow them in for free.
Yeah.
So all our racing events, it's great for the family to get out, bring your kids. The other thing, we have great concessions there, but we also allow families to bring their own concessions and stuff like that. So one of the few places in sports that allow people to bring their own drinks and food if need be.
Well, that's fantastic. And like you said, it really creates a family atmosphere. One big family when the races are going on. So where is it again? Tell us the location, and if folks want to learn more, where do they go?
Well, it's exactly halfway between Harrisburg, Pennsylvania and State College, Pennsylvania. There's an exit for Port Royal. The racetracks are located right in town.
Okay.
Which is pretty neat if you've never been there, because you can sit there and watch your races and look at the mountains and look at the churches downtown.
That's
so
neat.
It's pretty cool. PortRoyalSpeedway.com is where you can get any information you would want, or also Port Royal Speedway Trackside Media.
Awesome. Steve, thanks so much. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you.
We'll see you at the track.
Yep. Thanks.
All right. Honk if you've seen geese in the Juniata River Valley. Really, they are everywhere and celebrated for more than 2 centuries. Once a year, towns go all out. And after the break, hear about the lore of Goose Day.
Each year on September 29th, the Juniata River Valley gets its goose on. It is Goose Day, a tradition that dates back many, many years. And though it's not nearly the same as experiencing it for yourself, we're going to get a little taste of it today. Joining me now is Jenny Landis. She's Executive Director of the Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau, the sponsor of our show today. And she's brought a giant goose along with us today.
Mrs. Goose.
Mrs. Goose.
Yes.
Mrs. Goose, pardon me, ma'am. What is Goose Day?
Goose Day is our local holiday that we're very proud of, and we're building into something that hopefully the entire state could be proud of. It started a long, long time ago, generations ago in Europe. It was brought here, our best guess is towards the end of the 1700s, 1789, something like that. We pinpointed on one person, but the truth of it is, it was a tradition there at the end of the harvest season to share a goose with your workers, with your landowner, what have you, to secure your wealth for the next year. So our short story on Goose Day is, you eat goose on September 29th, you won't want for money in the coming year.
What happens around these towns? I know there's food, there's decorations, there's really goose everything. What will we see?
That's the fun part of it, at least it is for me. We have a few things that happen every year that we can count on. But then for the most part, we do something we call crowdsourcing. There's not just one festival that you come for. You come to explore our two-county area and just find out what's going on. We have stores that do special sales. You can pick a golden goose egg. We have bars that feature blackberry vodka drinks. And let's see, we also have the restaurants, of course. Not all of them serve goose, but a lot of them get involved in the whole spirit of the thing and have fun with it. There are lots of ways to learn about Goose Day.
Well, you mentioned the blackberries. So blackberries are significant too. I don't understand how, but you're going to explain it. We even have blackberry wine here today. So what is it about geese and blackberries? How is this together?
Well, this also goes back to the long-term history, way back. It's a minor Catholic holiday. And so the story goes that St. Michaelmas Day is the name in the Catholic tradition. And that involves the day that St. Michael threw Lucifer out of heaven. And the story goes he fell into hell and fell on a blackberry bush. Now, if you're familiar with blackberry bushes, they have thorns like this on them, right? So he wasn't very happy, you can imagine, and he's not a real nice guy anyway. So he jumps up and he spits on the bushes and he curses it, and the story goes, September 29th is the last day to eat blackberries. Also coincides with the end of the harvest, which is really convenient. But that's the story, and it's a pretty fun one.
And so here it's the last day to drink blackberries too.
Oh no, we bottle it. It'll last. It'll last
right
for a
here.
while.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so to reinforce your love of the goose, you have something called the Wild Geese Project, and that's throughout the valley. What is that?
Well, the wonderful thing is it's actually not our project. We have a group called Community Partnerships, and they came up with a crazy idea to have 5-foot-tall fiberglass geese created. They had the mold made, and for I'm not even sure how many years now, at least 5 years, we've been finding sponsors to sponsor the geese, have them painted, and then installed all over Mifflin and Juniata County. Right now, there are about 30 of them on the ground, believe it or not, and I think at last we heard there were 30 more coming.
Oh my gosh.
This is going to be a heck of a flock once it's
gosh.
done. But in the meantime, 30 is a really good reason to come visit them too. They're beautiful. And we're in the process of collecting some of the more unique stories around each goose, whether it's from the sponsor or the artist. And so we'll have a little bit more information too that you can look at, not just jump out and look at this pretty
Very
goose.
good. But it is fun. It's like a scavenger hunt looking for them. Thank
It
you
is.
so much
Thank
for
you.
talking with me today, and thank you so much for the show. We're going to go back to the studio after the break to close out the show.
Well, what a fun hour we have had. We would like to thank today's sponsor of our show, the Juniata River Valley Visitors Bureau. Thank you so much for being part of Good Day, PA. And the weather held out. It was nice to see the winery. Amy had a great time up there, and thanks so much to Deborah Pinkerton for being a part of this show as well and giving us a road trip and a tour through Juniata County. We hope you've had fun. We certainly have. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make it a good day, PA.